Oh, that's new. Could you guys hear
Yeah, that kind of scared me.
that? That's kind of good though. Now I don't
Yeah,
have to give you guys a warning. Zoom does it for me.
it was just a
So
little loud.
so we're recording now. This is Junior Developer Happy Hour React30 meetup. We've been doing these every Sunday for the past few months. We're just going over the JavaScript 30 exercises, but we've been doing them in React. So the JavaScript 30 is JavaScript 30. I think, yeah, Kiki has a link in the chat. We're gonna do, which one are we doing? This one, key sequence detection, Konami code. So usually we start with Wes Boss's like starter code, but like this week we're just gonna do it from scratch because he barely has any starter code for this one, and he doesn't actually do the Konami code, and I want to do the Konami code. So
Yeah,
for
it's
people
much
who
better.
don't know what the Konami code is, I'm Gen X, so millennials probably know it too. Maybe Gen Z people know it too. Who knows? Maybe it's a classic thing that people know. Nintendo used to have these games. I think Contra was the first one where you could enter the secret code and it was like up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, select start, and then you would get like 30 lives instead of like 3 lives, which made the game a lot easier. And that just became like a code to do like secret stuff. And I think BuzzFeed on West Boss's video, if you watch the video in this, he shows on the BuzzFeed, if you enter that code, it like changes all the words on the page to something Wilkie or something like that. I forget what it said. I didn't actually try it out though. Yeah, Brian got the code there. So we're gonna do up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, enter. We don't have select start, so I'm just gonna do up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, enter. And I was playing around Code Sandbox, and oh, did I get rid of it? Oh, here it is. I was thinking of doing something like this, where we have like Snoop Dogg full page, and then when you load it, and then you enter the code, and then it like Snoop Dogg like opens up on the page. um, so like if you look how I did this, instead of Konami code, I just was playing around with the idea. This one is just on mount. I just like added a class, and then when I hit open, it transitioned from 0% width to 100% width over 10 seconds. And that's just how I did it. So I was thinking we could do that. So let me open up the sandbox and give you guys a link. We start with a fresh sandbox every week. So for the new people here, we program it together. Sometimes I do a lot of the typing. Sometimes other people want to give it a shot and try out implementing little pieces. We'll see how tonight goes. Tonight, I was thinking we could play around more with hooks, since this seems like a perfect thing to like make some custom hooks. So make a new sandbox, React. Let me get y'all the link. Okay. That's the link if you wanna, you can probably see better than just watching the live stream link, but I mean, if you don't have an external monitor, maybe you could just watch the video. I don't know how people usually watch what we're doing, but I'm thinking, let's get rid of this class and let's say, enter the secret code. Okay, actually, let's put that so we can at least get the, what was it again? App? Yeah, so at least it's centered and stuff. Before we get started, does anybody have any questions about anything before we get started? About anything I just explained, like what we're gonna do? Hey, Etienne's
I
here.
have a question.
Hey Josh, how's it going?
Good. So we're basically just using React just so we can kind of also learn React alongside the JavaScript 30.
Yeah, just interesting to see like how you can implement these. A lot of people have already done the JavaScript 30, and if you haven't, I usually recommend that you do the exercise in vanilla JavaScript before like the meetup, just so you see the difference of like how it's implemented in vanilla JS and like how you can implement the same thing in React, because some things are like much easier in React. And like tonight we're gonna like work with custom hooks. A lot of people are still learning React, so like it's interesting just to see how to make custom hooks. Last week we used ref a lot. People are still learning all the hooks, like use state. We haven't used reducer yet. Maybe one week we'll try to mix that in. So it's just to learn some like fundamentals of both JavaScript and React, because we also did like the array week where we kind of reviewed all like map and filter and all the useful like array methods that are available in JavaScript. And we also use all those array methods a lot in React, because React is just JavaScript. So
Cool.
But yeah. And React is fun, so that's why we just come and have some fun on Sunday night. Hey, what's up, Etienne? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Had the capstone, then I was sick, and then yeah, I'm back.
Well,
But I've had a good week now. I'm in like Express.js learning that. It's good.
Okay.
Starting to look at React pretty more seriously now. It's coming up, so you know.
So some people are posting the key codes, but we don't need those, because remember this site, watch this. When I press like up, I'm gonna use this one. That's easier because then it's more readable. I can just write arrow up instead of the number. So if I get the event key instead of so like if you do like down is arrow down. That's why this West Boss made this site. We brought it up in a couple weeks. This keycode.info here.
I think we did it for the first one. It was like the key.
Oh, the drum kit. Yeah.
Yeah, the drum kit.
So these are the different ways you can use it, but I think most people now use this event.key. Oh, look at that. It copied it to the clipboard. West Boss, man. His apps are awesome. So you can see it's pretty intuitive. It's just arrow left, arrow right, arrow up, arrow down. Enter is enter. B is B. A is A, lowercase. So first, what I was thinking is we can make a hook that's just like a keylogger. So let's just try and do that. So I'm gonna put it outside just so we can get the feel of doing like custom hooks. So let's just call it use keylogger. So there probably exists a certain a library where you can just import this hook already, but let's build it from scratch just to have some fun. So in a keylogger, we're gonna need to, I was thinking we can just attach an event to the window, and then we can just log each key that the person enters. So we're gonna need like use state, because we're gonna keep state of all the characters that are entered. And at least in my head, we'll see if this works. I didn't I didn't try it out, so this is just what I'm thinking. And if anybody like thinks this is a bad idea, just speak up, because I'm not the master programmer. I just do stuff and see if it works. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna call it like key cache or something. And then we can say window, add event listener. I think it was key up, and then we need like cache log. Let's just call it add key to cache. And all this is going to do is set key cache equal to key cache dot get key. Oh, sorry. Event. Before we do this, let's just console log what event.key is. Remember, we always do sanity checks just to see if what my brain is thinking is actually a thing. Because sometimes I'm thinking stuff in my brain that's not actually a thing. I just think that it's gonna work and it doesn't work. So let's see. So if we do this, add key to cache, and we got to remember to clean up whenever you do event listeners. So I think that's how you do it. I haven't done a vanilla listener in a while, but if I watched the West Boss video today. I think in vanilla JavaScript you do it like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But let's get rid of some of these errors. So let's do this. Let's put in this logger. So use key logger. And then, oh, we gotta wrap this in a use effect though, actually. See, my brain's already jumping ahead. We only want to do this on mount, that's why. And I will stop for questions, so don't think I'm just gonna blast through the whole thing. I'm just getting like some code to get us started, and then I'll stop to like ask questions. Let's see. This going in here. So now use keylogger on mount. It should register this event listener. And let's see if it actually does that. So let's do use keylogger. Okay, now I'm gonna do, oh, look at that, it works. If people
Why
can
do you
see.
need to remove the event listener?
To clean up, otherwise you have memory leaks in your app. Like in our case, we don't need to worry about it because we're just using it at the top level. But like if this was nested in a component that's like loaded on the app that like unmounts when you like move to different parts of the app, you could have memory leaks inside of your app. So this in use effect, whatever function you return is the cleanup function. If you go and look in the docs, it explains it more what the cleanup function does. But like it's really important when you do like event listeners, because you don't want to like leave the event listeners like on when you don't mean to leave them on. Like what if I only wanted to use this keylogger on like one of the pages in my app? And since I registered it at the global window level and I didn't remove it when you went to like the next page, the event would still be like would still be happening. So it can cause memory leaks in your app.
I see, that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's important for those kind of things. And sometimes there's just like cleanup stuff you want to do. Like, I don't know, I can't think of a like exact example, but like anytime you got to clean up stuff whenever the component unmounts, or sometimes this function runs every time. So like if I did have dependencies like I don't know if the key cache was a dependency or something like that. It's not right now, but if it was, that function would unmount every time the key cache changed. Every time the dependencies changed, it not unmount, it would run the cleanup function every time the dependency changed. But like, we only want to register the event when on mount, at least for now. We'll see where it takes us. Maybe we'll like modify it later. But I'm thinking we just keep it easy. We only like hack for about an hour. So we try to keep things kind of simple and not add in all these fancy like edge cases and stuff. Unless we have like extra time, then we can try out other ideas.
Could you add a property on a div like on key down? Like if it like you have a div that's 100% like the window size, or like a given size, so
you could do that here, but then like we're making a custom hook, so like I'm adding it on a window.
Gotcha.
But I mean, you could do the on key up thing here, and then just have the logic inside here. Then you don't need a cleanup function, or it just disappears when the component unmounts, right? But like, I want to play around with some custom hooks because we haven't.
Yeah.
I think we've done that a little bit, but like this one is like, we kind of did it in like contrived ways before. It wasn't like really good use cases for like custom hooks. This seems like a perfect use case for like making a custom hook.
Yeah, I'm making something pretty similar right now as for fun, and I use the div method, and I'm kind of rethinking my logic, and I kind of want to use this method now.
Yeah, that's why we come here, to play around with ideas, and then you can actually use it and stuff you're working on. Or you can learn dumb ways to do things when I screw things up and learn what not to do. Okay, so let's try and take it a step further. We know it's logging the keys, and it looks exactly how I thought, right? Remember we were looking at it and it was like arrow down, arrow left, arrow right. So it's logging the keys exactly what I thought. Like if I type any, is logging all the keys. But right now it's just console logging them. I actually want to store them in memory somehow, right? So let's see if my key cache thing works, and let's return the key cache from this. So return, let's see, it's complaining, the linter's complaining about something. The key cache. Let's just ignore it for now. So let's return the key cache, and then I'll say keys. Let's just call it key cache here again. And then let's put it on the screen. Let's see. What's it like pre? Let's see if how that works. Okay, that's not right though. So let's see what's happening. So what's going on?
Could you use dot push on line 9 instead of concat, because we're initiating the state as an array?
Let's see. So okay. But you can't mutate what's in state. So maybe this linter is warning me is actually legit. Let's see. So let's see, on key up, add key to cache. Why is this it is. It does need to run again, I think. Let's see. So I think the linter is actually helping us here. It's I think it's like a stale closure kind of bug, which is like hard to debug. Okay, so the linter was actually telling us the right thing to do. So it needed to rerun it. This key cache was like, I think it wasn't getting the new version of the key cache. It was using like only the first time it ran. That's why I was only putting in like one extra thing. So now it's rerunning. Every time the key cache changes, this reruns again and we get the new key cache event. But yeah, your question about push, I don't think you can run push on variables you haven't used state, because use state, I'm pretty sure these variables are immutable, so you can't you can't mutate them.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
I think so. You can try it out yourself to verify that, but I'm pretty sure they're immutable.
I think that you'll get like weird bugs and errors when you can technically use like push, but you would need to spread it into a new array. So in this use case of like concat, it will just make a new array for you, so you don't have to spread in that. Yeah,
I'm saying if you run push on this, like I can try it real quick. Like let's reload it. I think it gives you an error.
oh,
This is keycache.push is not a function. It doesn't let you do like mutative kind of. Oh wait, no, that was because push returns the thing you. It actually did let us push. So it was this. It got the wrong value because I was like, push returns the value that you push into the array. Let's do that. Reload this. Oh yeah, it just ignores it. I thought it would throw an error. So like, if I do console log dot keycache here, let's see. Oh, it actually works. I thought it didn't let you mutate it, so I was wrong. But you probably shouldn't do that because you, like Brian said, weird things can happen. Like it's better to only mutate variables when they're like local variables. When you're dealing with variables that are like in like a higher scope, like we're local right now into this function, it's fine to mutate like variables you just define in there, but you don't want to ever mutate stuff that came from like outside of that function. That's like an anti-pattern in JavaScript, because that's what causes bugs that are like really hard to like, really, it makes your code really hard to debug if you mutate stuff, variables from like an outer scope. But,
and just to add to that, if you mutate the state directly, you can overwrite any modifications you make by calling that state.
What was that? You got muted for a second.
When you directly mutate the state, you can override any of like your mutations when you call set state, which like makes it hard to debug.
Yeah, that's true.
State, it's like
because React batches the set states too, and like there's no it's kind of a mystery how they batch it. It's not deterministic, I think, how the it's not synchronously running the set states. They batch it somehow. They have some kind of algorithm, which is
that makes sense. So you only want to modify the state with the function that you set to do that, basically. That makes sense.
Yeah, or you want to do what Brian said, where you spread it and you make a copy and then push into the copy. But I don't know. I think this is pretty easy, pretty readable with the concat. But yeah, okay. So we got the keylogger going down, the cache. Any other questions about that part? Okay, no? Okay, I'm gonna enter the code so I can copy and paste what it, the values, because it's like up. Oh, how come it's not console? Oh, I moved the console log.
Okay. I do that all the time where I like use what I've made and then copy the value that I need to keep as a variable. It's like a cheat code.
Okay. Oh. God damn it. It was almost there where I could just copy the whole thing. Okay. So let's put it into a constant. I'm going to just call it Konami code. And then I'll just add in and last one. So now we got the Konami code. And then just to show you, we can do multiple custom hooks. Just to use Konami code. And then all this is gonna do is, let's move this into here. And then we can say return key cache dot slice. I'll explain what I'm thinking in a second. So what I'm thinking is when you do slice, like with a negative, you can get the last like n amount of things from an array. So like, just to show you an example here. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I did slice -2, it gives me the last 2 things in the array. So I'm doing the length of this array, and I'm saying negative. So whatever keys that were logged, say I entered in like 100 keys, I only want to make sure like if the last keys that were entered was the Konami code. So that's my idea for this algorithm. I think that's right, but if anybody thinks that sounds wrong, just let me know. And I'm joining it so that here we can actually console log it first. Let's do that first, like how we always do. So let's do, I'm gonna, instead of returning that, I'm gonna return false all the time for now. And then instead of use keylogger here, Konami, as Konami code. Okay, where did I mess up? Key cache is not defined. I got rid of the key cache. Okay, and let's stick with this for now. We're gonna have to clean it up in a bit, but it's 8:30. So let's do some console logs first. So instead of, I'm gonna just copy and paste this and comment this line out actually. So now when I do this, when I do up, down, down. See how it's just concatenating all the, and then enter. But then it only takes like the last things that I enter. So it takes like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because I'm doing that slice trick that I just did. So I think that will work. Let me try it again. So up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, enter. So yeah, so it was able to get the whole code. That's the code that I want. So what I'm doing is, since strings are easy to compare with each other, I'm just joining the array and then joining the array. I could actually do the join here. Oh no, I can't do the join there because I'm doing the Konami code.length here. So let's see. So let's put this logic in. And then let's do this. And then let's just console log this. Let's copy paste this. Okay, so now it's false. Do up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, enter. And then it's a true. So it seems to work. So I'm gonna stop here before we like put in Snoop Dogg, and then we want to cover edge cases and stuff like that. We still got like 25 more minutes. So I want to make sure we get Snoop Dogg in there though. So we're gonna do Snoop Dogg next. Does anybody have any questions about what I did, or like how why that idea popped into my brain? If you have a different idea of how to do it or something.
I thought that the way that you basically like the string comparison is super smart. I'm totally gonna steal that idea. To quickly, I guess, compare array values, because otherwise you have to iterate through the arrays.
Yeah, you would need to do a loop, which is harder to read in my opinion.
Yeah, and this, yeah, you could check with primitives, and it's easier to check if values are the same.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
So I think that's gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is, you know how in my other one, so I was playing around with this. I'm gonna have a similar thing to this, but I don't need all this because I'm just gonna say if the Konami code is entered, add on this open class, which causes Snoop Dogg to pop up. But before we go and do that, does anybody have any other questions? And also, this would actually be super easy in the real world because I'm pretty sure there's probably these hooks on NPM. Somebody probably already made these things. They probably exist. So you wouldn't need to write all this stuff from scratch. We're just going it over from scratch because it's not that hard to make these hooks. And just so you get the idea, like how you could make like these like small little custom hooks. These are like perfect examples. Unlike the other weeks where we were just making shit up when it's not really good examples for when you would make a custom hook. These would like, I would actually, this is how I would like probably make it into the app if I wasn't using if I didn't want to add in dependencies for like the keylogger and stuff like that.
I have a question. Is it commonly like use the slice and then pass in the negative link to like compare? Like how else can we use this?
Wait, what, to use the what? Could you repeat that?
Line 37, which is like comparing.
Oh, slice.
Yeah, like what other cases can we use this for? Because this looks super convenient.
whenever you need to compare, like if it's a sequence of, like this is a sequence of strings, a sequence of characters, sequence of numbers, those are all like good cases.
The last time I used it was when we're using a pointer method, 2 pointer methods to slice off the end of the array after it had it, because it had to be done in place. So you would keep switching using pointers, the array in order of index, but then you'd end up
Yeah.
done and you'd have the rest of the array that you didn't need, right? So then you slice those indexes off using a negative value going from the back is the last time I used it this way.
But yeah, if you're talking slice in general, there's like a million use cases for slice in general.
Yeah, slice is great. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff, but I
Slice,
mean negative, you know.
oh, slice negative. But if you're talking specifically about like this
Yeah.
whole thing of like comparing,
Yeah. Would it be for like authentic or not authentication, but like some like the last step before you compare something? Like, yeah, I guess authenticating or
it's when you have an array like that can be a variable length, but you only need to compare the last n number of things that were entered. Then you can use this trick where you say, I only want the last 5 things or 10 things. Because right now we don't have a limit. Like we probably should set a limit, but like, because I don't know how many characters the array can hold in memory. Like the browser can only hold so much things in memory, right? Like it's probably a lot though. So we might not even need to like to fix up the code. Because if we want to fix up the code, we would make it only cache like the last, for this use case, we only need to cache the last 11 keystrokes that were entered. So like if we wanted to improve the memory usage of the app, we could make sure we stop logging the keys after 11 keys have been entered.
it's great.
Or maybe you could pop them off at the end if it's like above 11. Like you can continue taking them in while.
We would do the slice here, I think. We would just slice off and make sure that we only like at most keep the last 11 things that were entered. At least that's the first thing that I would think of. Like I would have this, some type of logic like this here, so that I'm only like putting in the last certain amount of things. But like this hook is general, it's use keylogger, so that's not a good thing. You probably would have like max max keys to log or something like that. And then in here, you would use this number to slice only the last whatever keys that were entered. So maybe if we have time, we'll get to that. I don't think we'll have time to like get to that though. Because we got to get Snoop Dogg on the page. Okay, any other questions?
I might be off, but is this considered like one of the sliding window algorithms, or is that something completely different?
Sliding window algorithms. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask about algorithms.
Oh, no worries.
I don't keep that stuff in my memory because I'm a front-end developer. I just make UIs. I don't have all these algorithms in my brain. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna move on then. I'm gonna get the CSS. That's always the easiest part to copy over. So let's add that in. Let's put Snoop Dogg in. So let's see. Oh, we're also gonna need to. So I'm gonna render this only. So this is gonna be like this. We don't even have to do that. We can just do this. Actually, let's do that. And then we'll do, we only want to render that text when the code has not been entered, because we want Snoop Dogg to take up the whole page after you enter the code. So let's try it out and see if it works on the first try. That would be awesome. Let's see. Okay. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A. Oh, snap. It worked on the first try. Oh, it looks like there's like a little white margin at the bottom. What is that? Let's see. Well, I don't know. We'll just leave it. So that was the MVP of what I wanted to do. Does anybody have any questions about what we did? I kind of just rushed this part because I already had it in my head. Like that's what I wanted to do. And luckily it worked. Any questions? We can also now, if like, let's see.
I have a React question in general.
Hold on one second. So if I do this, if I push another key, I think he should go away. Let's see. It goes back because now the Konami sequence, I screwed it up because I entered another key, right? So now if I enter it again, oh yeah, that actually works out. Okay, what was your React question?
So I guess hypothetically speaking, is it bad practice to like use classes in React function components to encapsulate like very complex logic? Like I'm trying to make a React Enigma machine where it encrypts stuff, basically your text, but it's a lot of logic, and so far it's been easier to encapsulate that in just a class, because there's like the keyboard, then there's a lot of like elements to it. Or I suppose I can make reducers.
I don't see any reason to use a React class component anymore besides like error boundaries.
Not a class component, but like a regular old JavaScript object class.
I mean, if it's easier for you, I personally don't ever use classes. I use functions for everything.
Fair enough.
But I mean, whatever makes it easier for you. There's like a million ways to do everything. I'm sure you can make a good solution using classes. I like I like functions. I like to compose functions, and
yeah. I just transcribed a bunch of Java code to JavaScript, and I have it like mostly working. But I was wondering, since I'm using function components in React, if I should just turn them all into reducers.
I don't know. It's hard to know. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
We'll see.
What? Oh, let me see. I'm trying to get rid of that white line at the bottom, except now it went away. The stupid thing is, I think it's in here.